Hello and welcome to our video on how the brain works. The brain is one of the most complex organs in the human body, and it's responsible for everything we do, think, and feel. In this video, we'll be exploring the different parts of the brain and how they work together to create the amazing machine that is the human brain. Part 1: The basics of the brain. To understand how the brain works, we first need to know what it's made up of. The brain is divided into three main parts: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is responsible for conscious thought and movement. The cerebellum controls balance and coordination, while the brainstem controls involuntary functions like breathing and heartbeat.
Part 2: Neurons and synapses. The brain is made up of billions of neurons, which are specialized cells that transmit information throughout the brain and body. Neurons communicate with each other through synapses, which are tiny gaps between the cells. When a neuron is activated, it releases chemicals called neurotransmitters that cross the synapse and bind to receptors on the next neuron, triggering a response. Part 3: The role of the cortex. The outer layer of the cerebrum is called the cortex, and it's divided into four lobes: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. Each lobe is responsible for different functions. The frontal lobe is responsible for reasoning, planning, and problem solving. The parietal lobe processes sensory information, like touch and temperature. The temporal lobe is involved in hearing and language, and the occipital lobe is responsible for vision. Part 4: The limbic system. The limbic system is a group of structures located in the center of the brain that are involved in emotions, motivation, and memory. The limbic system includes the hippocampus, which is responsible for creating new memories, and the amygdala, which is involved in emotional responses. Part 5: Brain plasticity. Finally, we'll talk about brain plasticity, which is the brain's ability to change and adapt over time. This is why we're able to learn new things and develop new skills, even as adults. Brain plasticity is also what allows the brain to recover from injuries and damage, like strokes and traumatic brain injuries. Conclusion. In conclusion, the brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls everything we do, think, and feel. It's made up of billions of neurons that communicate through synapses, and it's divided into different parts that each have their own functions. Understanding how the brain works can help us better understand ourselves and how we interact with the world around us.
Thank you for watching the video.